Okay, so the YouTube is live now, and I'm going to transfer it to you.
Are you trying to speak?
Yes, I'm saying the YouTube is already live. I'm going to share the link of the group, but I'm giving you the host now.
All right. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to record the section.
I will. Thank you. And we should have a record. We should have like a database of all the records now. I think after the event, we can now share it. I also want
Yes,
to share to the respective speakers for their
of course.
sessions.
Yes, of course. I'm going to download all the links. Then Emmanuel will put it on the YouTube. So for the sections that is not on YouTube already, but for the ones on YouTube, you can just copy the link on YouTube and share with them. They'll be able to watch that on YouTube.
Amazing. Amazing. That's good. Also urge your team members, your cluster members to join. The host just informed me that he'll be joining by 7:50.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Good evening, Elizabeth.
Good evening, Amara.
How
Welcome
you
on the
doing?
call.
Hold on.
I'm doing fine. How was your day?
Fine. Have you heard from Lola?
She'll join soon.
Okay.
Are you colliding with her today?
Yes.
So have you communicated with her?
No.
Please do that quickly.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Yes, I can hear you.
My profile is not showing my picture. Hope that is not a problem.
Uh, it's not a problem. Don't worry.
Okay.
So in colliding, this is what you will do. You'll be on standby just in case she goes off or anything. And of course, she will also assign to you any task whatsoever, right?
Okay.
Yes.
But did you speak to her? Did people spoke today earlier today? Hello, Elizabeth. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I said, did you speak to Lola today?
Yes, yes. We have been in
Okay.
communication. We have been talking. Don't worry, she will
Okay.
join us. She's aware. Hmm? So go to the clusters and inform them.
Okay.
Amara, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Etebet, I can hear you. She just told me that she will be playing the videos.
Okay. So who will anchor?
She just told me that I'm going to say everything, that she will only be videoing. She only played the video.
Okay, you know the flow now. You know the flow.
Yes. Yes.
So when you come, don't just start and say, let's have the video. Engage
Okay.
them. Welcome. This is the 6th day. We just, you know, um, we've had series now, so it's been an amazing turn run all
Yes.
through. So you just try to relate. Please, can I know where you're journeying from? Can you really tell me how you really feel about the 6th day? 6 represents something unique, and then we're on the 6th day, just a day to the end of the event. Engage and say, okay, can we
Okay.
have the anthem of the camp? Right? Let your flow be natural and, of
Okay.
course, intense.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me also inform you that we are live on YouTube already, so
Oh,
everything will be recorded on YouTube already.
okay.
Okay. Interesting. Our anchor is here already. He's joining the
Oh,
call now. Our speaker is already on the call. That's amazing to know. Good evening, sir. Welcome on the call, sir.
Can you hear me?
yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, good evening. I want to try to connect by headphone. So let me try. Uh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, great.
It's good to have you on the call, sir. I mean, it's amazing. Despite a very busy schedule, you're taking out your time to see that you come and give us value. Or more, I just can't wait me because I know what you contain.
I hope I'm not going to disappoint you.
No, 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 no. You're not. Definitely. You don't look like someone who will disappoint. Definitely.
Okay, okay.
All right. So this is the flow, sir. While people are joining, we would
Mhm.
have we'll have like series of videos that first of all display our anthem and display our thriller as well as other videos from Campites. So once we immediately play your video, that's your profile, you now come on board. The anchor, the moderator will
Mm,
now share you to speak. Yes.
mm. Okay, that's fine.
Do you have any
So that
slides to
means
share?
no, 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 no.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
From the speaker that I listened to 2 days ago, that's why I joined. So I saw he was just talking straight from his experience. I have a small jot as well. I will just keep to that. But I'll give them
Okay.
time to take down some keynotes and we'll share more of personal experiences and that should be enough.
Amazing. Also, would want you to give time for questions and answers. Today will be a lot of questions and answers. People want to ask, especially your line of discussion, right? Catalytic leadership. So it has a lot. Probably people have questions or something a little bit different from what we've been discussing over these 4 days. So we'll also
Mm,
appreciate some time for questions. Yeah.
definitely. I can work with that. Even the questions, how I plan to run, the questions might even be running from the presentation because I like a back and forth approach. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
will engage my audience more when that time comes. No problem.
Okay,
All right,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's fine. So do you want me to Ethelbert?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do
sir.
you want this to be more generic, or you want me to speak to some career focus in oil and gas?
Well, I think it should be generic because we have wide range of scientists. We have wide range of usually just STEM, science and technology individuals, but then a good number of banking, finance, and some other non-STEM courses. But at least you can touch from your concept of the oil and gas sector, giving good samples from there. It will really help as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir. So people will begin to join quickly. Should be expecting nothing less than 70 to 80 participants tonight.
No problem.
Co-host, kindly ensure that you're also on the background admitting people, right? Let's ensure that we are all very adaptable around that circle. Make sure you're admitting people into the call, since this already has a waiting room. It's good that our speaker is already on the call and he's ready to dish out content. I mean, we just can't wait. So let's ensure that we start making people, to join as quick as possible. Over to you, the anchors and moderators.
Thank you, Etibelt. Can we just wait for the 5 minutes after it?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. Just tell us that we are going to wait 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the SIS. But before then, let's just wait for 3 more minutes before we start the program properly. Thank you.
Hello, Olulala.
Yes, can we help you?
Wait, your internet.
Okay, we are right at the time. Just 5 minutes after 8 Nigerian time. Welcome everyone. Good evening from this part of the world. My name is Amara Cherugo, and I'll be moderating this program for this night. It's the 6th Dekemp at 5th anniversary, and I can tell you that I've gained a lot right from day one. Just from day one, I had a take home on day one from Dr. Michael Taiwo, who said, "Until you move, nothing will move." And also, he said, "Nobody will tell you you're speeding too fast. You are the one that will tell yourself." And I grabbed a lot from other speakers. I don't know about you.
All
And
right.
today again,
No, thank you so much.
we're still going to have other round of amazing take homes. So I just hope and believe that you're holding your pens and your papers so that you have all the values you need to take home. Thank you. Please can we have the camp anthem?
Please start recording the session.
I'm sorry, I think I'm having some challenges in my laptop. I might have to maybe leave and come back. Please.
Okay, no
All right.
problem, Lola. While we wait for Lola to join the meetings, we can remind your closest to join the meeting. Thank you. Please, we're sorry about the technical glitch. It will be fixed right away. Thank you.
All right, Lola, over to you. You can share your screen now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Dekemp is a great family of trust, love, and excellence, of oneness, togetherness, in all that we do. We aim to achieve great success through process when I learn to make our works much more better. Yes, process over results. Empires, resourceful people who support each other, knowing that till we all win, we are working progress. Yes, we will achieve great success. That's what meant Kelechi, who founded this noble group. Lord, please make us all winners.
The most anticipated event of the year is here again, celebrating Dekemp at 5. The theme, an inch forward, the mindset of a transgenerational leader. Meet our speakers, Dr. Kelechuku Onwukamike, founder, Dekemp, Engineer Deshino Jonathan Ojo, founder, AIGE Limited, Engineer Lufumilade Akingba-Bohun, past national chairman of Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers, Stella Ijoma Olugbemi, corporate expert and brand manager, Edwin Power PLC, Dr. Michael Taiwo, founder of Michael Taiwo Scholarship, and Mark Idahi, social enterprise developer. Date 7th to 13th October 2024. Time 8 to 9:30 p.m. WAT. Venue a virtual meeting on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube platform. Don't be left out by doing what to register via the link below. For more information, visit the website www.dekemp.org. Dekemp at 5 promises to leave you with a remarkable experience exploring the opportunities hidden, inching forward.
Hello, Kempites. My name is Emmanuel. I am a Mo Ibrahim Scholar at the University of Birmingham. It gives me great joy to be part of this celebration of the 5th year anniversary of Dekemp. I think I've been a member since 2021 or 2022, and it has been exciting to be a member of this great platform. As the theme implies, inch forward. I want to use this opportunity to advise new Kempites and even those who have been there before me that as you strive for excellence, remember progress often begins with small, consistent steps. Inch forward every day. It is very important for you to inch forward. Don't wait for perfection. Take imperfect actions. Don't expect massive leaps. Focus on incremental gains, gradually, slow by slow. Don't let fear hold you back. Make tiny, courageous moves. I think this point about not letting fear hold you back applies to me, because I wouldn't be where I am if I allowed fear to hold me back. So continue inching forward, build momentum, develop resilience, and foster growth. From today, as you make the decision to inch forward, read your essay one more time before submitting, make one more connection, learn one more skill, and celebrate small wins. And know that every inch that you take forward brings you closer to your goal. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Lala Oshibanjo. I'm a medical doctor at Kempite, and I'm also one of the members of the planning committee for the Dekemp at 5. I joined the camp in 2022, and one of the things that I would say that out of the many things that I've learned in the camp is a mindset change. I've learned to appreciate my process. I've learned to appreciate my little wins while I look forward to the big picture. I also want to use the opportunity to say happy 5th year anniversary to every campite, and let's remember to keep inching forward till we all win. We are a work in progress. Thank you.
The speaker of today is a life mentor and coach with over 15 years of experience in engineering, project management, and capacity building. He is a budding entrepreneur and running a successful grassroots tech aligned skilled acquisition organization named AIGE Limited, with over 2,000 young Nigerians trained in various tech skills and counting. He loves to share experiences and help those coming beginnings to find their footing in career and business. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the speaker of tonight, Engineer Deshino Jonathan Ojo, founder AIGE Limited, who will be speaking on the topic Catalytic Leadership, a backbone for inching forward.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Sound check.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
So, is it time? Can I start speaking?
Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, that's fine. All right. It's good to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to be part of this program, the fifth edition of the Dekemp program run by Dr. Kelechuku. I'm so happy to do this because this is one thing I do for the Nigerian youth. We also have our own tech hub where currently we have over 1,000 active young Nigerians doing great things for themselves. And we've been doing that from 2018 up until date. So when Telbert reached out to me on LinkedIn to come share my experience with the team here, I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity to take this further and hope to brighten the face of someone during this session. So I like my sessions to be highly interactive. And since we're here on Zoom, there is a feature called reaction where you can send emojis. So if you can hear me right now, I want you to send an emoji, your favorite emoji, whichever it is. Just pop the emoji. Let me see that flying on the screen. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Good. All right. So I'll also be using the chat box. All right. So I'll be jumping into the chat box at intervals because, like I said, I want this to be highly interactive. And I also want to get immediate feedback even as I go through the presentation. I've been given the topic catalytic leadership, a backbone for inching forward, right? Before I go deep down, I would like to define who a leader is. And I know you must have been hearing about this word leader. Some of you are in leadership. Even the organization that we have here, we have the hierarchy where you have leaders serving in different portfolio at the Dekemp organization. So who is a leader, right? So for me, I'm going to define a leader here as someone who has the capability to get things done or someone who has the capability of achieving success at a role. And if I ask, and I'm going to jump to the chat box right now, how many of you do you think, okay, right now that you are a leader? Just indicates on the chat box, right? I want to see, okay, Etelbert, yes. Etelbert say yes. Any other person? And mind you, I might not be good with faces, but I'm very good with names. I just told you we have a tribe, over 1,000 young Nigerians, and I bet you that I know every one of them by name. And I'm going to still make new friends here. Okay, Bosco, Francis, Amarachi, good. Chioma, good. Mary Rose, nice. So let me tell you, each and every one of us have that seed of leadership in you. And leadership is not something that you can say, okay, you're an ultimate leader. I'll give you an example. I've defined a leader to be someone who has the attributes or the capability to achieve success, right? So when you talk about spiritual growth or spiritual life, any leader in that place will call it our pastors, right? Or the imam. Okay? Then Take it down to the family. The father is supposed to be like the leader of the house. The husband is supposed to be like the leader of his home with his wife. And as they tend to grow, have children, right? Take it to the academic setting. A leader is someone like the head of the department who must have attained that position by attaining a certain form of degree, maybe a PhD degree, a doctorate degree in a particular field of study. All right. So that will tell you that in any sphere or any environment you find yourself, we have leaders, right? But today I'm going to be talking about the catalytic leader, meaning among leader, you still have leaders, right? And when we now talk about catalyst, what does catalyst does? For some of you like myself that like dough or bread a lot, I love bread, right? So you see that when you make a dough, dough is the mixture of flour, sugar, cream, and all those things. It will just sit in the baking pan, right? Not until when you add a catalyst in form of yeast, all right, that you now see that that bread will now rise in the baking pan. The same thing you have when you are making cake, pancake, donuts, and what have you. That means that catalyst is what separates a leader from other leaders, right? Is what gives you that egghead, right? It's what gives you that competitive advantage over your peers. So when leaders are ranking, the catalyst is what makes you stand out. Are you guys following me? So that means you must have some things, or you must, in a way, try to get some things working for you to be a catalytic leader. And the first thing is what I call self-assessment. You have to be able to tell yourself, look into the mirror and ask yourself, how am I doing part time? This is a key factor in how far you go in life. So the question is, how often do you do self-assessment for yourself? I'll give you an example. When I left the university, that was 2010, I did a self-assessment for myself and I said, oh, okay, Adeshino, now I've backed a second class upper degree in mechanical engineering. However, can I say to myself that I am a mechanical engineer? Can I say that I have imbibed the theorems? Can I say that I am relevant to the job thing or opportunities of that time? And my answer as at then was no. So I now had to tell myself, I had to put myself in that space to do more, to seek more knowledge, right? So you as a person will have to carry out a self-assessment for you. And I tell you, I critique myself day in, day out. I critique myself every month. I have a book, I have a diary where I write, okay, what do I want to achieve for the day? What do I want to achieve for the week? What do I want to achieve for a month? And I now check myself after this set period, how am I doing part-time? You need to get to that level whereby you carry out a self-assessment for yourself. And let me take this back to our current economy. Right now, when I see a lot of the youths, they complain Nigeria is bad, it's not working. While I agree with you, and you say, okay, our politicians are the cause of that. I read in a book that tells me that anytime you point a finger, anytime you point at a finger like I'm doing right now to someone, you should know that the other four are pointing back at yourself, right? So I've tend to tell myself personally that for me to get to the goal that I've achieved, that I want to achieve in life, I have to constantly tell myself, am I operating at the frequency that is necessary to catapult me to the level I need in life? All right. And that will now lead me to the attributes of what I call the attribute of a catalytic leader. So one of the attributes of a catalytic leader is something that I've coined from the Boy Scouts. So if I take a pause here and ask that, okay, the Boy Scouts logo, who can tell me what the Boy Scout logo is? You can use the chat box to tell me. The Boy Scouts, right? For those of you that are my generation, good. Spot on. Victor said, be prepared, right? And I will tell you, I've added, be prepared always. Always. That is to say, for every generation, there's a leader for every generation. The question is, when those opportunity comes knocking, will you be ready for the leadership? Will you be ready to take the bull by the horn? I've been working with you for a long time now, and I tell you, one thing I've seen in the youth is we leave things to the last moment. A member of my team was to make a presentation to me or to the team yesterday, and the notice for this presentation has gone out Sunday, the last Sunday, making it 6 days from now. And she was told, okay, you're going to make the presentation. Interestingly, for a lot of personal reasons, she couldn't do that presentation. And just yesterday, a few minutes before the presentation, she came up with something and we had to cancel that meeting. Why? Because she wasn't prepared. And let me tell you, a lot of us are really not prepared for the opportunities that abound. We live in an economy, or we live in a country whereby when you tell a person, go and get this, they will tell you, how would this benefit me? And I get that a lot. But what I tell people is, it's better to be prepared. It's better for you to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. I'll take that again. It's better for you to have something in your hand and not need it than for you to need something and not have it. And what am I saying here? Most of the opportunities that you see can come or that is being advertised out there and say, okay, we are looking for someone to fill a role or a leadership role or an opportunity. It has gone into weeks, if not months of preparation. I was talking to a group and I was telling them that for those of you that have been working in the industry or in companies, there is a role called a project planner, meaning that before an organization roll out a project, they have to employ somebody that will have what we call a look ahead. It can have a quarterly look ahead, it can have a biannual look ahead, it can have a yearly look ahead, it can have a 3 years, 5 years look ahead to say, okay, this is what we want to achieve in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. Then what are the things that we need to make this happen? Looking at what we call the iron or the triple constraints, which is quality, time, and resources. So you have to be prepared for opportunities, right? And these opportunities, some of the preparations you do as preparations that will take you 1 year. Some preparations will take you 2 years for opportunities. I'll give you an example. There's a scholarship scheme, which is called the Chevening Scholarship in the UK, right? Some of you must have known about this scholarship. There's no how you want to prepare for a Chevening Scholarship essay, and maybe you see the advert today and you say you apply tomorrow. It's not possible. You have to take textbook, read how to write an essay. You have to, in some cases, contact the schools where these opportunities are bound to connect with the faculty heads to ask them, okay, I've seen this opportunity. This is what I've done, XYZ in time past. And some of these emails will take 1 month, some longer for these people to get back to you to say, okay, yes, I've seen it. Then you now share your undergraduate thesis. This is what I've done in the past. I've been a member, like a Telbert, I've been a member of the Dekemp community where I organized leadership programs like this for the youth. And I think if I get this scholarship, it will be a way of selling me out to the world. I already have this experience. I can help you debottleneck your tasks and responsibilities at the organization, and after that, you go to draft your email or your essays, you send it out for reviews, and you make an application. So most times when you even see that submit application, you shouldn't just be in a rush to say, okay, I take my essay and I drop it out. And this takes time. I've given you an example of the Chevening Scholarship. Sometimes you might use 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to prepare for opportunity. So there are some opportunities that you even see now that you are not as a person to apply, but look at the requirements. How do I need to get there? So ask yourself this question. If right now, as we're talking, I give you 20 million naira, and I want you to be factual, right? I'm going to take the first 5 responses. If I give you 20 million naira right now as you are, what are you going to do with it? So let's take, Ethelbert was smart and fast. Agricultural business, that is one. Food storage business, okay. Any other person? I have like 70. Okay, sponsor my education. Okay. Land. Agricultural production. I will start my book business. Poultry and fishery. Large scale poultry. Wow. Buy land and resell. Okay. For where I stay, Mary Jane, that 20 million might not be enough to buy you a land. Enlarge my drink business. Good. So doctor has been doing a lot on you guys, and I can see that you guys are just spot on. But do you know, and it will be my weakness, that if you ask some youth today, just ask them, okay, I'm going to give you 20 million naira. What are you going to do? And I say, okay. When I have the money, I'll start thinking about it. And I bet you that a lot of youths are in that place. So a lot of you are prepared. So that is good. So you have to be prepared always to be a catalytic leader. That is my very first point. And the second point is what I've termed, forget about the knowledge and look for experience. Forget about the knowledge and seek experience. Nigerians, we are very intelligent. You will see people with BSc, you see people with masters, you see people with PhD. In fact, in time past, I've seen people with PhD still roaming the streets saying they are looking for job. And if I ask you that questions, you will know that this is not something that is not applicable in our environment. Why? Because we're in an environment that puts a lot of pressure on knowledge. Go to school. Go to school. School is good. I also have a master's, right? However, seek for places that you can get field or practical experience in whatever you want to study on. I've seen a lot of responses from the group chat, a lot of people talking about agro business. If I ask you, when last have you been to a poultry farm? When last have you been to the fishery? When last have you been to the maize farm? You take the hole, till the ground, and know how this is done. That is the experience we're talking about. When last have you followed the farmer from the farm to the marketplace to understand the dynamics of how this thing is done? So whatever might be your niche, whatever might be good. Amara said he was in the farm this week. So that is what we're talking about, because experience is not something you read in books. And what people pay for in this age and time that we are now is the experience. Because we have a lot of erudite professors out there, but what makes that difference, that clear-cut difference for a catalytic leader, is the experience. And I'll share another experience with you. There's something called the Ngwa boys. Those in the eastern part of Nigeria will understand this better. These are guys that from their young age, they will take them out to meet a successful businessman, either maybe somebody selling spare parts, either maybe somebody selling shoes, either maybe somebody selling any form of business. And they'll say, this is your boy. What the boy does is he'll wake up in the morning, he will wash Oga's car, he will wash Oga's clothes, he will take care of Oga's house. And when he's done, he will report to the, he will report to Oga's shop. And he will mount that shop 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on the number of years, right, that they sign contracts for. When this boy is done, after 4 or 5 years, depending on the number of years, he's being given freedom. And his master is going to give him a piece of the business in terms of big money, in terms of maybe get a shop for him, stock it up, and life begins. And I tell you, these guys, most times they don't even go to school. In my early days, I worked in a bank, and sometimes you see these boys walk into the bank with slippers. But by the time you see what is in their accounts, man, you will know that these guys are in serious money. Why? Because they've taken the practical approach. Am I saying that knowledge is not good? Knowledge is beautiful. However, experience takes precedence in terms of this current economy and society that we find ourselves, right? And that is why you see that even right now we have a lot of skill acquisitions here and there. You see someone that has gone to school. Let me quickly share this experience also, if you don't mind. A classmate of mine in the secondary school opted for fashion designing immediately after we finished WAEC back in the days, right? And this is someone that he was in the top 5. So he's not someone that doesn't know how to read and write or is not good. He's very good with the books, right? But after our first school leaving certificate, while all of us were hustling for universities, his name was Tunde. Tunde said, hey man, that he's going back to tailoring. And he took that as a trade, seeking for the practical experience. We went to school. Today went to because his father was a tailor, went to his father's shop, started bringing out latest designs, implementing it in his father's shop. And rolling down the years, when I graduated from the university in 2010, like I said, Tunde was one of the first people that won Surepeace 5 million naira grants, free money for his business. Free money. Federal government as at then just give him the Surepeace. Some of you must have heard of the Surepeace, 5 million naira. And before then, he already has a big store in Jos Plateau State, because that is where we grew up. Has another one in Nasarawa State. And as when he got the Surepeace, he used that money to open another store in Abuja. And what he did was, in between those 5 years where we went to school, he now went to do an ND, national diploma, while still going in the tailoring business, right? So right now, as I'm talking to you, if you go to Plateau State, he is one of the leading fashion designers in Plateau State, Nigeria. And he's now the one training corpers in skill acquisition, training other people that have gone to school and have not gotten white collar job, and they want to now start learning. So in whatever skill you must have want to do, I've talked about the $20 million, and I've seen some fantastic business. Get the experience. And most times the experience comes with no pay. This is one thing I have to say again, because the youth of nowadays will say, okay, I can't take that job. They are not paying me. Why would I be doing a job that they don't pay me? Nobody will pay you to do nothing, right? While you are that experience, you're supposed to learn, you're supposed to gain skills that will take you into your next 3, 5 years and beyond. So the more time you waste is at your own detriment, right? However, if you take the learning, forget about the remuneration at this point in time, that will always pay off for you. So don't forget, that is for teaching the knowledge and seeking the experience, right? So next, I'll talk about skip the degree and seek for competency. Now, when you tell someone, can you do XYZ for me? You hear, I have a degree in this, I have a master's degree in that. But the question is, how competent are you? Competency. Competency is key. I'm always very careful to tell someone I'm going to do something for you, because I've taken it that my word is my bond. So, how often do you tell someone that I'm going to get things done and not get it done? How competent are you in even the skill, the one skill that is made for this generation? And if I ask you, what is that one skill that you think is made for this generation as we speak? I'm going back to the chat box. The skill for the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, the millennials, right? Good. Victor is on point. Tech skills, digital skills, Chioma, tech skills, coding, digital skills. Beautiful. Let me tell you, back in the days, it was very difficult to connect with industry personnel, right? It was very difficult because when they organize symposiums or seminars, you have to have like a form of ticket. You pay for tickets to go into this event. However, technology has made things easy. I bet you don't even know where on planet Earth I'm from, but I'm connecting to all of you online. In the prelude to this presentation, somebody was in the UK and we were able to hear him loud and clear. The question is, how much of these tech skills are you leveraging on? I used to tell those in my cohort that want to go to abroad, that want to japa, it's fine, it's beautiful. However, before you move and you leave this country, ensure that at least you develop your digital or your tech skill to that point in time whereby you can take on remote jobs. If from the comfort of your room in Nigeria, you cannot develop tech skills to take on remote jobs from Nigeria here, please do not rush abroad. A lot of guys that have gone there will not tell you what they are doing. You must have been hearing of odd jobs because you must be able to relate to whichever economy you are, right? So if you're in Nigeria and you don't even know how to use PowerPoint, for example, you don't know how to use algorithms on Microsoft Word, you don't know how to do basic coding, you don't know how to use digital marketing tools, you don't know how to do data analytics, please, why are you rushing out of your fatherland? Because these are the things that are in vogue and in a very high degree in those other locations that you are going to. So the earlier you develop those skills right here and start working on 1 or 2 remote jobs, the better for you. Because once you get out there, you have to survive. I've seen um, a documentary on BBC that was made. Somebody here that's working in Nigerian bank as a manager resigned, sold his car, his houses, moved his family to the UK, only to get there and see that the agents that took or that work his processing uh, did not give him what, or is not seeing the other side of the green leaf, right? And you know that this man was now working, begged to work as a supermarket attendant, a manager in a tier one Nigerian bank. And it got to a point that they now said they cannot pay him because of his entry visa type into the UK. So what they do is they give him bread and tuna fish for the work that he was doing for them at the restaurant, cleaning up, moving things up and down. So why do you want to suggest yourself to that kind of torment while you can start off? I don't have any bias towards anybody that is traveling or that wants to travel. But mind you, what I'm saying is ensure that you have a tech skill, develop that tech skill to be able to deliver and do remote jobs right in Nigeria here before you leave. Even when you start this remote job, you might even notice that you don't even need to travel out, right? Because from your remote job, you can start earning in foreign currency, euros, pounds, dollars, even in Nigeria. So why do you want to rush out to a place whereby I have friends in France right now? His monthly rent is $1,200 monthly rent, and put that money in Nigeria. Put that money in Nigeria right now. If you are to convert $1,200 in Nigeria, you know where you are going to be staying. It's either you stay in Maitama or you stay in Banana Island in Lagos. You get my point, right? So why do I want to go and spend that money over there if I can still get that dollar and be in Nigeria? So that is the point, right? And yes, I also have some good guys that have gone there working with Microsoft, working with Google. Thumbs up. That's what we want for you. That is only if you get to that level of competency, right? Thirdly, get cozy with key behaviors. If you want to be the catalytic leader, there are some key behaviors in life that you have to get cozy with. Some people, when you call them on phones, sometimes I'll just say hi. You want to talk to somebody on phone, maybe you chat him up or you call, and next thing you hear is, hello, who be this? That is bad. You have to be courteous because you don't know who is at the other side of the call. And I have some key points here right now that I say create well-defined project plan. That is one. Set time limits. And two, achieve priorities. So what do I mean by saying create well-defined project plan? You want to ask yourself, and this is a question that normally you get when you go for interviews. They ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? You don't have to wait until you get to interview before you set that project plan for yourself. We've looked at some people with projects here, looked at fish farming, we looked at educational plans to further your education and all have you. You can have that on paper, right? It costs you nothing. Get your pen, get your paper, you can use your laptop, scribble things down. Where do I want to be in the next 1 year? Where do I see myself in the next 3 years? Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Then you now go further to ask yourself, how am I going to achieve this goal? What do I need to do today to make that goal? What do I need to do this week to make that goal? What do I need to do this month to make that goal? And what do I need to do in the year 2024 to make that goal? When I see people setting out New Year resolutions in first January, first day in January and every year, I used to laugh because go and check in the next 10 days, January 10, check how are those resolutions going. January 30th. How are those resolutions going? You see that a lot, a lot of the people that set New Year resolutions fade away even before the first month of the year. However, if you are being strategic with this, by setting well-defined project goal for yourself and ask yourself, how do I need to get this? Put a time limit to this and give priorities. You will see that naturally, you will just discover that you don't need to spend 3 hours on Netflix. Naturally. I tell you, there are some point in time that I watch one movie for 1 week. And I'm not talking about serious movie. Same 2 hours movie that you guys will just sit down and watch. Because by the time I'm watching that movie, something will just strike me in my head. Oh boy, you have a priority to achieve, which is time-based. Then I'll pause that movie and I'll go and achieve that. While I'm doing that, something else will come up. When I'm doing that, before I would even remember that I'm watching a movie maybe on my laptop, it will take me 1-2 days. Why? Because what I've set to achieve are things that you can't be playing around and achieve that, right? So as a catalytic leader, you cannot be sleeping on the lap of Delilah and expect to wake up in the bosom of Abraham. Is that clear? So when you set your goals, when you set time limits, when you set priorities, you will see that you will just tone. Your life is going to tone in a natural way that nobody, you don't even need a motivational speaker to tell you to get serious. Because for the goal that you've set, you know that for you to achieve this particular goal, what you need to do to get to that goal is something that will take you, thank you, to the next 1 month, the next 2 months, the next 3 months. So you don't have time for any form of nonsense, right? So, and when you start picking or speaking to people that matter, you will just be like an egghead. I used to tell my people that, see, skill is like a designer's perfume. When the people that will buy it come close, they just perceive that aroma. So you can have 10,000 youths go for a job application. It doesn't matter. Once you show in front of those people that will make a difference, they just know that this person is different. Because by the time they ask you, what are your goals for the next 1 year, 3 years, how you will hit them with that answer, they will shake on their chair. And they will know that this person is not like every other person. Why the other one say, I plan to, you are just giving them like, okay, this is what I've planned out to do. In fact, you can even tell them that right here, even at this interview, I'm running late of a priority that I need to close out. Right? So you will see that you will just start getting your life in place. And I'm going to go to the next one because of time. I've seen a lot of people want to go into business, but this one speaks mostly to maybe those that want to build a career for themselves, white collar job and all. The next one for you to be a catalytic leader is you have to work yourself into the logic and the reasoning of recruitment. Work yourself into the logic and the reasoning of recruitment. So, come to think about it, I want to get a job. I have a company that is a Fortune 100 company that I want to get into. And I know that, okay, this company gets graduates, right? That can go into maybe management training or the leadership program. And I know that they just did the leadership program now, right? And I missed that leadership program. What will it take me to use the next 2 years to get that leadership, the next leadership program? There's a company I respect so much back in the days when I was job hunting and when I was younger. Now I've defined my career and I've chosen a path. That company is called Heineken, right? So at your pleasure, you can go to YouTube and just search for Heineken graduates recruitment program. It is very robust and intense. Like recruitment program is like it's like a career on its own. You will see how they set out from writing aptitude tests to conducting interviews to doing like a stage scenario where they will put people in the room and they'll be watching them from cameras to see how they'll behave, how they will interact, how they will just form a scenario in the company the day of your interview. They'll just form a scenario and they will now watch if you are going to shrink. You say you are a team player, yeah? We've called you to an interview session, and there's a situation, an incident in the area, and you are just by the side and you are looking at them. No, you have lost the job. And one of the guys that got the job in some few years past, it was as a UEFA Champions League final, right? He was just there. They welcomed him to the match, and while he was there flinging the UEFA Champions League ball on the pitch, they just put it on the wide screen. You have gotten the job with Henneken. That was super. And this guy, I'm sure, will go on to become a leader in that organization. So, what am I trying to say? In Nigeria, where we find ourselves, it is a no-brainer that if you want to get into graduate jobs, you should be solving the GMAT, graduate method aptitude test, every day. There are 50, 100 possible interview questions. This should be your day-to-day go-by, right? And like I tell my people in my organization that, see, apologies to those in human resources. Human resources doesn't know math. So they're not going to change those questions in the GMAT. All they need to do, because this is a very big book, they'll just pick a session and set it for you. So if you've been the one that have been practicing this over time, just like we say that repetition brings mastery, right? If you get to that company and they call you up for aptitude test, you don't need to think twice. You will see some questions that you've solved over time, tick over it, get your answers, and you move on. Are you guys following me, please? Please, let me get to see emojis if you're following. It's been a while I took a break. Okay, great. So why do you have to wait for that opportunity before you start preparing for that beautiful opportunity that you want to see, or as you see yourself in that organization? So preparation helps you to do away with failures that might come in a future interview or a future encounter that can change your destiny. And I tell people, see, it takes nothing less than 5 minutes for your destiny to change. But you can prepare for 5 years for that 5 minutes. So what you do in that 5 minutes is what counts. That's why you see some people when they go out, they will say, you've gotten your sin at God. Oh, yes, we know it's God. However, go and check what they were doing in their background. Right? So, when I was studying for my master's, that course was so intense that in a day, I was sleeping just 3 hours. How I did it, I didn't know, because I'm someone that loves my sleep, right? But it's dawned on me that if I need to be a success at this stage in my career, I can't do more. At that point in time, I sleep from I work, do assignments, read from when it's 12 midnight, I'll sleep, 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. I'm back on, awake, and I'll continue for the day. And that was how I was able to manage that stage. So, if you see any leader that is smooth and shiny without a scar, run away from that person. Because for you to be a good leader, you must have had experiences, and these experiences are your scars, are the things that make you to get to that position that you've gotten to. Yes, we have what you guys call the grace, but grace also speaks for those people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, right? And because of our time, because I've seen it's already past 9 and I want to give a lot of time for questioning, I'm going to just share two stories with you. One was a story that was told, the other one is a story from the Bible, and we'll now take questions and wrap up today's session. There was a lawyer, a very young barrister that was just called to bar. And this barrister was complaining, I'm not getting clients. People are not coming my way, right? And he was getting frustrated. He was just praying and hoping for that big break. On the other side of the divide, there is a very successful barrister who everybody goes to for their cases at the court. So, as fate will have it, this barrister that was frustrated, saying there was no job for him, people were not coming to him and all, now had the opportunity to meet this very successful other senior barrister, right? And when he met the barrister, when they started conversing, he now said, okay, sir, please, I want to be like you. He now start narrating his problem. You know how we do when we meet people we think are our destiny helpers. We start talking everything that we need to say, even the ones who don't need to say. That guy now said, okay, hold on. I'm going to do something for you. So he said, meet me in the courtroom 9 a.m. tomorrow. So this young barrister dressed up, ironed his attire, came all sparkling and shining. And lo and behold, 9 a.m., he met the senior colleague, and the man held his hand. And from one end of the courtroom, he walked to the other end of the courtroom. And as he was greeting him, oh, sir, good morning. That was a senior advocate. And I said, okay, meet my boy. This is my boy. This is my boy. That was the only thing he was saying. They went from one end to another, then make a U-turn and brought him back to starting point. And I said, now you can go. And guess what? This young barrister was disappointed because he was saying to himself, is that all? Like, is this all this man is going to do for me? He felt disappointed. He felt like he has wasted his time, went back to his state. But do you know what happened? As the days goes by, anytime he passes by and goes to the court, say, okay, are you not the senior? Okay, this is the senior advocate's boy, right? You are the senior. You say, yes, I'm the one. And do you know what? From one case, 2 cases, 3 cases, all because the senior advocate has said what? This is my boy. Can you see? That was the catalyst in his life. And not only when he started having that experience, that he now had a shift in mindset. Right? So, which will lead me to my next point. Never you joke with your destiny helpers. And I see this a lot with the youth. Somebody is a destiny helper, your destiny helper, maybe by chance, you have his contact, and next thing you are calling the man up or the woman up, madam, I want to pay my school fees, madam, I've not eaten this morning, madam, I'm not be able to solve my data. Never you do that. Because it's just like you going to the ocean, you take a cup, you fetch a water, and you run away. That is even if they give you that cup. Because they'll just look at, oh, this person is not serious. This person is short-sighted and myopic in thinking. So think big and appreciate those destiny helpers in your life, and don't check on them only when it is necessary or when you have something sensible and presentable to share. I tell you, I have some destiny helpers. I talk to them once in a month. Some of them, I talk to them once in 3 months. Some of them I talk to them once in 6 months, and the only thing they will ask is, okay, Adeshina, how are you doing? So what can I do for you? That alone, what can I do for you? You must have prepared 6 months, 3 months ahead before you can say, because these are the kind of people that when you talk to them, okay, they'll say, okay, this is what you okay. Talk to, they call somebody, attend to him, meet this, do this, and you are done. However, some of you will go and be asking such persons, sir, help me with 5,000, help me with my subscription, help me with this, petty things, right? Please and please don't do that. So that is speaking to catalysts. Don't forget what I said when I started. I said there are leaders and there are leaders. So these are leaders that can add that catalyst to your life. You don't joke with them. Lastly, I'm going to share a very similar story with you guys. And this will just summarize everything that I've been talking about. And it's a story in the holy books, and his name is David, right? This is someone where you want to check in terms of, okay, seniority. He was second to the last, right? If you want to check in terms of strength, he had elder brothers that had gone before him in doing well in different schemes. However, what did David do? David know that, okay, for me, I want to be a shepherd boy. David will set out in the morning. He will take his sheep. He will go into the forest, the people that you can call like the Fulanis of today, and he will wander away with his cattle. And that is where he will be up until the point in time where the country needed a new king. And by the leading of God, the prophet was led to the house of Jesse to say, okay, go and anoint, because I'm going to give you a king in the house of Jesse. And when he got there, he saw the eldest brother, said, oh, this guy has broad shoulders. This is in the making of a king. But God says, stop. I've rejected him. You are looking at the outward. I'm looking at the inward. And that is how they continued until when he checked all the sons. And he asked the man, are these all your children? He said, there's one. He's a wanderer. He always carries sheep, right? He's always in the bush. He said, okay, go and fetch that one. We are not going to sit in this place until he's here. And guess what? Immediately he came and the oil touched him. He said, this is my anointed one. But that is not the story. Let me tell you where I'm going. Because he was prepared for his opportunity. There was a unique problem in that land. Goliath was threatening. And said, and he will go to the battlefield. Can't you give me your best warriors? I'm strong. I want to fight your best warrior. And this will be like a dual battle. Anybody that wins, either I win or you win, or your best fighter wins me, takes the day. That was it. And by chance, this flickered to the ears of David. And because all those that have gone before him were not prepared for opportunities, were scared, he went to meet the king. He said, oh, king, may you live long. He said that as the Lord lives, I'm going to deliver this guy to you. And you're like, this small boy. Imagine somebody right now in this is going to meet an army general and telling him that I don't want to call what we have in country. You see, that biggest problem, army general, relax. I'm going to treat it. So just I want you to picture how that is. And he said, okay, because of lack of option and because of the grace of God upon his life, he said, okay, I'm going to give you that opportunity. And he went and got 3 pebbles. But before they got there, the king said, okay, tell me your experience, which you can liken to what you call your curriculum vitae now. You say, what experience do you have in battlefield? And because David was prepared, all his response was ready. Do you know what he said? He said, oh king, may you live long. He said, there was a point in time I was tendering my father's sheep, and a lion came to eat from the sheep, and I took the lion and I tore it from the mouth. The king said, wow, really? You tore lion from the mouth? I said, yes, okay. You see, another point in time came when a bear came and wanted to eat from the fork. He said, I took the bear and I tore it from the mouth. As the Lord lives, before this time tomorrow, He's going to deliver me into the hand of this Philistine. If he had not responded in the way he has responded, he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity at first to stand and face Goliath. That was the first test. The second test of preparation, because he was killed. Go and check. His tribe are the people that they call them the sling band. I've forgotten the exact name, but they are so skilled that they can use this sling to throw stones. And guess what? They don't even use right hand, they use their left hand. They can put a stone in the sling, they will turn it, and if they target you kilometers away, they will get you. That is the tribe that David came from. And he took just three fine pebbles, and he went to the battlefield. Right? And when he got there, pew, 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 he wind the sling with a fine pebble. And Goliath was like, how will you guys insult me? Look at this grasshopper that you brought in my place, right? To do this. And because, and I'm going to get there, also for you to be a catalytic leader, you have to know what we call the God factor. This is where David came in with the God factor, because you cannot do this on your own, right? After all that is said and done, the spiritual controls the physical. So you have to find a way to tie the spiritual to what you're doing, right? And he says, because David told Goliath, he said, because you have abused the God of Israel, whom I serve, that he is going to give me this victory. You see, not only is he smart enough, not only is he prepared enough, but he also tied that to the supreme. And by the first link, it hits, if you see the armor, okay, before I won't get to that, the king say, okay, since this is our last chance, so last chance didn't just start today. Let us give him armor. So they gave him armor, they gave him shield. But because David was not banking on this, and these things were too heavy, he said, don't worry, okay, keep your armor, keep your shield. Let me take my sling and my pebbles, and I'm fine. And he went with the sling and pebble. And with the first shot, the only free space on Goliath's head was what he got. And let me tell you why I love David so much. This is where I want to close it up. Because he was very smart. He knows how to nail opportunity. So when an opportunity comes before you and you're given an opportunity to shine, don't stop until they tell you to stop. Right? So even when he threw that stone and he got Goliath in the head, he did not stop there. He knew that, okay, this might just be a headache and this guy will stand up. He drew Goliath's sword and cut off the head. And that was it. Job done. Clinical. So, for you to be a catalytic leader, you have to have that clinical finishing to whatever you do. So, you're closing to your presentation, you're closing to your proposal, you're closing to whatever you're doing should be as smart as the beginning and as the middle. There should be no loose end. You have to give them back to back to back. Right? You have to give them back to back to back. And once you are able to do that, you will see that there is a leader for every generation. The big question is, would that leader be you? And that is where I draw my curtain for my presentation tonight. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Adeshina. Thank you very much. This section was very, very insightful. For me, I got value, and I don't know for others, and I'm very sure they did. Please, Kempai, you can start dropping our questions, but before then, let's see in the chat box, use the emoji to react. Let's see how excited you were on this section. And if you have any question to ask at the same time, you can raise up your hand. So we'll give you time so you can ask Engineer Adeshina your question directly. Please, if you have question, indicate by raising up your hand, or you can drop it on the chat box. We'll see it right there. Okay, I'll ask it to mute now. I've asked it to unmute. You can go ahead. Young Prof, you can go ahead. Okay, it's like she's not taking the lead. Okay, Victor, I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Thank you so much. Like, if I missed today, I would have cried. The value is amazing. Okay, and my question is this. So, for someone who wants to run away from the fatherland and the motherland sometime, what what particular tech skill would you encourage? Like, what's the best tech skill one can actually learn that will sell?
Okay, great. Thank you for that uh, question. And this is the thing, right?
Yes.
There is no tech skill that can't add value to you. The most important thing is how competent are you with this tech skill? So currently, like I told you guys, I run an organization. If you go to AIG Limited, you will see us on Instagram, you see us on Facebook. But guess what? In my organizations, I don't do more than data analytics. That is my bread and butter. I have other guys that have taken prowess in programming. I have my team in digital marketing. I have my team in coding. Yes, I also do 3D printing, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is any tech skill that you take, do a drill down. The problem I used to see with many youths, and because I relate to them a lot, like what we do, we are like the biggest tech organization for NYSC in River State. So I go to camp, every camp that you can think of in NYSC in River State. I go there, I relate with youth like 365 days in the year. So I get a lot of feedback. And you see somebody will say, sir, maybe I'll say, okay, come and learn computer appreciation, for example. And next thing you hear is, sir, I am familiar with that. I want something harder. So familiarity, and that's the point I'm getting to, will not get you anywhere. If it's PowerPoint, and I will tell you this story. For me, one of my most interesting skill, you'll be surprised to know, is PowerPoint. Because when I was doing my master's, it was a master's of 11 students organized by an oil and gas company. And they've told us from the start they are taking just 3 students. And you will see people in my class, 70% of people in my class are first class. So it is the 30%, so that 30% that is 2-1. So in terms of retentive memory, cramming, I cannot cram like those first class guys. So I had to ask myself, how can I be on top of this class? So I said I'm going to be their tech rep. their IT rep. And one of my strongest points is PowerPoint. If I do my PowerPoint presentation for you, you will feel like to just put it on the wall and be looking at it. It was that good. So with that, I was able to enter a lot of the resource persons that were coming to train. So while others are doing la cram la pour for the normal school stuff, I started working company presentation for the instructors that were coming to teach us. I started getting to know what the company does, their operation, because they might just have a presentation to the IOCs like Shell, Chevron, and the Oga that is teaching us to tell me, can I do a presentation for him? Perfect. He will give me the content. I will arrange the presentation for him. So likeness was starting to come out of that. Are you getting me? And imagine me telling someone to go and learn PowerPoint. They're like, sir, what is PowerPoint? I know PowerPoint. So you see what I'm getting to. So any tech skill that you have a flair for is your starting point. Then, like I said, secondly, if you want to leave this country, it's fine. But while you are still here learning that tech skill, ensure that you start looking for remote jobs. So if the tech skill that you have learned is not giving you a remote job, then you might need to switch to something else while you are still here. That is a way of like you testing the waters before you get to your next location. So that when you get to the abroad, whichever of the abroad you want to go to, you can speak their language. You can tell them you can do this, you can debug a system, you can program, you can code, you can run business analytics, and before you know, in no time, you will start getting relevance like every other normal person, and not going to wash plates or take care of an old woman or wash the mug. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. What's the best way I can start from learning a tech skill, online or a school? Like, how do I start first?
So you have to understand how tech skill work. There's a framework, there's fundamentals to every tech skill. You can learn that online. There are avenues like eds.org. There are avenues like Coursera right now where you can go request for scholarship and you will learn further. However, if you want to make a difference, you have to learn to look for a mentor, someone that can mentor you, hold you by the hand, someone that is working on real life scenarios. What you see, most of the online courses are pre-recorded videos, one case study to serve the whole generation. That will not take you far. So when you now have a buddy, somebody that is already working at any money in that test skill, that one can be sharing activities with you, can be sharing workload with you. As you are doing that, you will see that you are getting better. And like I said, once you start doing that, you can on your own start looking for a remote job to start testing your knowledge. That is how you get better. That is how you get to know this skill. It will get to a point that even you yourself, you will know that you are now an odogu. Nobody will need to tell you. So your first point of contact, get to know the basics, the framework. You can do all those online. You can look for tech skills and tech organizations where you can look for mentors. AIG Limited, we have a lot of mentors like that. For those that are interested, you can check us on Instagram. You can follow us. You can start having discussion. Look for mentors. It is very important. Then you learn from your mentor. Then as you are learning from your mentor, start looking for remote jobs. I've had instances of people that companies from abroad, Silicon Valley, literally uproot them from Nigeria. They didn't pay a dime to go to abroad. One of my instructor, my CAD instructor, a school in Canada, a senior professor, literally writes, and all he did was to get his visa here. The man took him to Canada, all because he's very good in CAD skills. And he's dirty today. He didn't pay 1 naira. He didn't pay a dime. So that is the kind of thing that I advise those that want to go abroad. You get it? However, it can start by you learning online, get to work with a tech school, get a mentor, start looking for a remote job to test your skills. And once people start paying for your services, know that you are getting there already.
Thank you, Engineer Additional, for that answer. And I believe, young professor, you've gotten your answer quite okay. We have another question for you. And I think, Victor, I'll ask you to unmute now. Victor, I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Engineer Additional. I think it was really a profound discussion, a lot of backlash. It was really, really amazing. But I have a question. It's a huge concern, and it was based on one of your statements when you said run away from someone who has no scars and is shining. I think I've heard something similar to this from a well-known man of God, Apostle Joshua Selman, something similar to this before. And the question with the growing or increasing rise of many people who claim to be, I don't know, even YouTube channels, everybody wants to speak, everybody wants to advise everybody. How do we identify somebody that does not have scars? Is a problem because everybody seems to know everything. Everybody seems to want to talk and advise because of they just achieved one yes like that or one something. So they feel that they can, advise someone. So how do we identify, maybe separate the chaff from the wheat? Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Victor, for that question. And it's a very valid question, right? Because let me tell you, there are some times and there are some places I find myself. I'll use a personal experience. When I first got to Port Harcourt, I have most of my successes in River State. When I first got to Port Harcourt, it took me like 6 months. I didn't go to church. Not because I wasn't a believer. Back home, I'm a believer. I believe in God. But what I met on ground at that point in time, just like you, was scary. So I had to take my time, ask God for leading until I could get settlement and get the right place of worship. And I tell you, I thank God I didn't make the wrong choice. So you are correct. However, one of the things you should know is the Spirit of God. If you know, as I finished, I said something that the divine, the spiritual controls the physical. So you can ask for divine leading, right? Because everybody right now have their ministry, everybody they are doing all sorts, right? So you can ask for divine leading from God. That is one. If you don't want to get too spiritual, by the time you start asking yourself, what are my plans? What are my plans for the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Where do I want to be? Company X. So who right now is in that company X that I can look up onto, that I can speak to? That is two. So in my own, during my time, I was like the first engineer in my generation. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a lecturer. I grew up in just Plateau State, not much of engineering. So it was a real challenge for me. But I trusted God, and anything, once I see anything engineering, maybe symposium, maybe a workshop, things like this, I attend, right? And while I attend, I ask questions. That took me from Plateau State to Abuja. It was when I was working in Abuja. In fact, when I got to Abuja back then, I had to take a job of 25,000 naira per month just to be in the vicinity of Abuja because I saw that like a better environment than where I was coming from. So environment is another one. I spoke about God. I spoke about what you want to achieve. Your environment also matter, where you find yourself, then You can also ask questions. Good thing you have a forum like this, which is Dekemp, and with the things they've been doing, you can ask those before you. See, in this kind of thing, you don't need to be proud. You can ask doctor, please, do you know somebody that can help me in this line? This is what I want to do, XYZ. If you can't ask that, you can ask, okay, so what helped me then was when I got to Abuja, I now saw a journal, oil and gas journal then, like career journal. And that journal, I bought it in a symposium. You see what I'm talking about? I went to a symposium and they were selling it, I think about 10,000 then. So I bought that oil and gas journal and I started reading by myself. So I'm not waiting for anybody's car. And I started reading, okay, what do I need to do to break into the oil and gas industry? What do I need to do to break into the oil and gas as an engineer? And I was seeing past profile of some people that have made it. And guess what? I was following that profile. I was now going to look for those people in LinkedIn. I was now becoming their friends. Some of them will accept, some of them will not accept. However, I followed all of them. Anything they post, I will look. I will gauge it with what I have in that my journal, and I will take my notes down. Guess what? This took me 4 years. But when the opportunity came on the 4th year, I knew I was ready. And from 2014 till date, I've never been the same. It was just like that match that leads my petrol. So, start from your innermost circle. That's another thing. Pray about it. Watch your environment. Watch your plan. Start from your innermost circle. Ask people that have gone before you. Then on your own, read. I used to tell my people, see, this generation are lacking a lot of knowledge because instead of us to read, to know, we would rather make somebody come online, talk some funny things. I'll say, this guy is making sense. And you see that one will start having followers. While we are not going back to check what this person is saying or how legit that person is either making sense or not. I have to tell my people, I say, you have the Google. Anything I say, put it on Google. Search it on Google. Check if this thing is legit or not. A lot of the youths don't even use Google. We rather see on Instagram or watch updates, and that is it. And that is why you see that a lot of people are being derailed. So if you go through this line, pray, study God's word, the Bible is just a complete book where you can get the perfect leading from. Be in your circle, watch your environment, draw a plan for your life. Ask people like the convener of these events for options or people that can help you or bring you to. We've had series of events. I joined one. It was mind-blowing. All the people that have spoken, you can search them on LinkedIn, you can follow them up, they can start giving you advice. And at the end of the day, you will see that your mind will be made up, because with all this information that you have received, there is no how that you'll not be able to critique those people that say they have a scar and it is legit or not legit. Have I been able to answer your question, Victor?
Victor, are you there? Are you still there? I believe you've answered this question. I think we'll still have another question. Let's go to Cynthia. Cynthia, I've asked you to unmute.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for this session. It's really, I'm so happy I did this session. So, for me directly, I'm part of the people that have gone through trainings, and like you said, mentorship. I checked your Instagram and your website, and I'm not seeing the space to is it an open link where we could see to apply for mentorship or something? Because somebody like me, I've done a lot of trainings for like 2 years in data analysis, of which the last one I even came out best graduating student in the set. And then it's just like you just have to continue going for training. I've volunteered for tech events, including Tech Expo, things like that. And I'm even in Port Harcourt. So it's like the main thing now is like, how do I get the job? And I think that the mentorship part that you spoke about is very important, because I know a lot of people like me that have done this program, and it's like they just tell you, okay, just keep on checking. But it's like there's the hack to getting the job. Like you said, maybe you have to get a job that will pay you less or something, or you have to get a mentor that would like guide you through, is one of the things that is missing. So please, I want to ask, how do I get to get the mentorship with your organization directly? Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Still on the Instagram page, you can just send a hi message. Then we'll take it up from there.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Engineer Additional, for that. We have Etebels. Etebels, you can ask your question. Etebels, are you there?
All right. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Ojo. Thank you so much for taking your time. Like I mentioned earlier, I was not expecting anything less. You know, when you told me I hope you will not disappoint me, I was like, this one no go happen. Indeed, I'm very much certain that you have done justice. All right, my question. I picked one of your statements when you mentioned give them back to back and don't stop, you know, as they come, as they hot, they give them. So I want to really ask, if you're in a new environment, right? Not necessarily a work environment, but an environment where you have to lead some certain people or lead some certain space. And then you have somebody who is probably just above you, who is not giving you that ability to shine. How would you really manage that relationship, ensuring that you are also on your track, and then you're also trying as much as possible to reveal yourself somewhat? Also,
good question.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
When you answer this one, sir.
Go ahead. Okay, you want me to answer first? Okay.
Okay, let me ask the question. Is there also an opportunity as a graduate, as a young engineer, for let's say volunteering experiences? Probably you cannot get in as a graduate training. You know, you also mentioned as a young engineer, or you're trying to get into the workspace, you have to start learning GMAT. Probably you're getting the interviews or you're getting the tests, and then you're not getting the job, right? But is there more like an alternative avenue to get into, you know, that space that you desire through volunteering?
Okay, good. So let me pick the first one. The first one is you got into a new environment and the person above you is trying to kill your shine, right? Okay, great. So this is the thing. One of my favorite channel is Net Geographic. In my spare time, sometimes I just put it on and I watch animals. And I learned that from the Europeans. Some of the best innovations you see today was made out of nature. So sometimes it's good for you to connect with nature to understand some of the things that we are going through in life as humans. What am I trying to say? If you see a lion's den, you will see a male lion. You will go and urinate round his den. You urinate round his den to tell any encroacher that this is my boundary. Do not enter. If you enter, anything you see, you take it that way. Just like you said, you are new. This organization has been running before you came. There are some people that are making these organizations to run before you came. So, smart move is what will help you bond into the organization. And one of the smart moves is this: when you get into a new place, observe, observe, observe. I also connect with animal husbandry, chickens. And back in those days, I remember anytime we buy a new cock and bring it to the house, it will stand on one leg. For a time, it will observe the whole environment until when it has finished observing, it must have known the alpha male in the house, then it will put the second leg down and say, now, here we come. So, what am I trying to say? There's something called the waiting period. It doesn't mean you are foolish or you don't know what to do. But like I said, before you came, there are some people that have been making that organization tick. They might not be doing it as good as you would do that. However, to some extent, they've been doing some job before you came. And they will not just give you an avenue to shine without a fight. So, how you break in is one, by observing, two, by working your way from the grassroots. You don't need to fight anybody. You have a job description. You have responsibilities. Do your work to the best of ability and let this ability shine out. Right? So, once this ability starts shining out, the people in the community will be the ones saying, this is a Tebet. This guy is good, oh. This is a Tebet. This guy is a fantastic guy, oh. Going back to the story that I shared with you in the Bible, do you know that when David started to shine, it was the people of Israel that say, King Saul slayed 1,000, David slayed 10,000. Are you getting it? So, by the time you do what you are supposed to do, the way you are supposed to do it, not the way you feel is to be done, the way that it comes to the recognition of those around you and they appreciate what they are doing naturally, the succession will happen without fight. So that even when that person is talking, they'll not say, okay, yes, we have heard you. Tell Bets, what do you have to say about these two? And you talk again, you shine, give them back to back to back. With time, they might bring you at par with that person or just take that person above you. And while all that is happening, ensure that you don't form an enmity with that person. Make them friends, open discussion. When you're supposed to do team building, bring the person to the team, make the person your friend, but still be smart about it. However, let your work do the talking for you, not what you think is the best, or you are doing it better than the person, or you want to show them that now you are here with the skills, right? I know of organization that you'll be surprised that even up until now, the operation system they are running is MS-DOS. And they are fine with it because they'll tell you that if they move to Windows 10 or Windows 7, that will change a lot of things in the system. So you are coming with maybe a Windows 11 experience and you are feeling, oh, let us change this thing. They will tell you that there's a lot of implication in we moving from MS-DOS to Windows 11 that you will not know. And then they will just say that just leave us the way we are. Do you get it? But if you now start bringing the benefits of Windows 11, taking it step by step and showing them that, okay, this is how you can transition from MS-DOS. It might take a while. Storytelling, you now do a chart, a timeline. Okay, we are starting in 2024. By 2026, we can have a smooth transition without having to worry about anything getting wrong or anything failing in our system. And they now start selling it. You sell it from your unit to your group, to your department, to your branch head. Before you know, the change will come. But change will not happen overnight because you are just come and you are the latest superstar. No. Let your work do the talking. All right? So that is what I have to say. Secondly, In terms of looking for engineering opportunities, you have to relate whatever you are doing now to physics. And I'll give you a typical example. There is a guy that I spoke with in the second quarter of this year. I know him very well because he was a member of my church and he knows I work with the organization I'm working with. So the guy just ran into me in church, say, Ogashino, there's a vacancy in your organization. I've applied. Please help me talk to them. Let them call me. I am very good. I said, guy, calm down. I said, what did you study? He told me he studied something related to electrical engineering. I said, okay, beautiful. I say, how good are you with running diagnostic on motherboards, like motherboards of phones, motherboards of laptops? And the guy say, I don't sabi that one. No. I say, okay, good. Go and start with that. It might look like you don't have experience in what we do in subsea, but if you can diagnose, if you can repair laptop hardware, you remove the board, there's a problem, you fix it, you fix the diode, the thing work. You can capture that experience, and once they see that on your CV, that alone can get you to the interview and even get you to the job. Either he did that or not, he did, is another story entirely. What am I trying to say? Anything you see big in a company right now has a form of basic physics to it. So if you cannot get into the big companies for experience and all, check into the basic physics and know the basics. Once you know the basics, look for a place, little organizations, maybe like an automobile where you can work on the basics, a electrician repair, radio repairing shop where you can learn diode, look into maybe a drilling company, a water board drilling company where you can learn the act of drilling, how they drill borehole. See, how they drill borehole is not different from how they will drill offshore. The only thing is environment is different. Those equipment are more sophisticated. So rather than just staying at home and waiting for the opportunity that has not come, you can take these experiences, which is what I spoke about experiences. You can take all these experiences and do all these basics and let those basics show forth on your CV. And any reasonable manager that knows his job, when they see those basics, they know that this one is for the future. And that will give you an edge when you start applying. Hope I've been able to answer your questions a little bit. Okay, good. So I think that's all for the questions. Moderator,
yes,
are you?
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you, and we do not take it for granted. Thank you for response, sir. Amara, over to you. Okay, since she's probably having technical issues, thank you very much, Dr. Ojo, Engineer Ojo, for taking out your time. I mean, even as you were giving me the responses,
It's
I was
engineer.
ready
I'm not a
writing.
doctor yet.
All right, Engineer Ojo. You fake it until you make it, I guess. So we are faking it yet.
Don't fake it. Be real.
Okay, engineer. All right, sir. Okay. So I will call on Doctor now, Dr. Kilechuku, to just comment briefly.
Thank you very much. Etebet, could you go to the next slide? Oh, I think that's been managed by Osibanjo. Hello, Engineer Ojo. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been in the background, also taking notes. It's nice to always hear when speakers share from their own experiences. Thank you for touching on so many areas. I think you went way overboard the topic that you've been given, and I'm sure that we've all received, and we are really, really happy that you decided to spend this time with us. It's basically almost 2 hours. I think if I allow the meeting to continue, it might even go into the midnight. So thank you very much. Really, really appreciate what you also do for the youth with what you're doing in your organization. So on behalf of Dekemp, we want to present this honorary award to you for your extraordinary contribution towards the success of Dekemp at 5 celebration. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, engineer. I think just as Doc promised, in the next 2 years to come, we hope that these awards become physical, where you can as well just put them in your offices, and then, of course, automatically you're part of the Kemp family, somewhat, even coming on board to speak to us in such a leadership conference as this, and then we definitely appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much, sir. I'm very much certain a lot of people will be coming to your DMs. Please, we are all Kempites. Do well to accept each and every one of us. Yes. Thank you very
It's
much,
fine.
sir.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
tomorrow,
Thank
guys,
you.
is the final day. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So tomorrow is the final day, and we have our very own founder, Dr. Kelechuku Onwukamike. He will be taking on an inch forward, a mindset of transitional leadership. Tomorrow is the grand finale, and you know how grand finale normally looks like now, right? So far, so good. You can attest that today has been the best session so far. Trust me. And it just keeps getting better day after day. So we want to see you tomorrow as we round off, same time, same station. Of course, I'll tell you not to touch that dial. It's an offense to do that, right? So connect as much as you can. This is Dekemp at 5. But I mean, some of you that have been joining online and in other virtual programs, do well to follow Dekemp on social media. Do well to ensure that if you want to be part of the camp, when the portal opens, we'll also let you know. Follow Dr. Kelechuku Kameke on LinkedIn. Follow the camp on LinkedIn and all across our social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter as well. Retweet, repost all the progresses that you've learned, and ensure that you share what you have learned. Share your story and let people know how much of value you have taken in these 6 days, right? So far, so good. We appreciate you joining on call. We appreciate you joining across all social medias. I want to join you together to say congratulations for learning so far and see you tomorrow. Good night.